Welcome, welcome. And let's see here. Hey, be nice. Be nice. Let's go here. Let's do this. Let's give you guys a better view today of what I got out here. Let's see. Do you see that? Yeah. Give you a good view, huh? Let's see. Hey everyone, thanks for being here. I'm not sure if I would appreciate it if you guys can let me know if you can actually hear anything. Um, is it out? Can you hear me at all? Because I don't have the mic, so I don't know if what state are you in? I'm in Florida. Okay, cool. So you can hear me clear. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So what you guys just watched, I don't know if you guys have followed me or not before, but I come out here every morning. My name is Nestor, and I live in Florida, and I have a little, what I call a little backyard oasis. This is beautiful. I come out here and I talk to God every day, and I take care of these animals. These are all wild animals. Even the fish, I tend to take care of because this is a drainage canal. There should be no life here, but there is so much life, and it's beautiful. So I enjoy it a lot. Um, so anyway, why are we here? Why am I here? Okay, well, I'm a retired aircraft mechanic. I have a school called Aviator School, and if you are interested in becoming an aviation mechanic, then hit me up. There's a link somewhere in my bio, and at the same time, just wanted to you can check that out and just do that. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to basically just I'm here to connect with you guys, right? So I'm here to let you know of how can I say this? I am compelled to do 100 days live with you guys because something spoke to me. I don't know. It just says, hey, for things to change, you must change, right? So I must change the way I do things. So that's why I'm here. So I decided to do morning coffee with me. So from LA, nice. You're a couple hours back. So good morning to you. I do have, I don't know what time you do wake up, but I do wake up at very early myself. So even here in Florida, I'm up at 3:45, 4 o'clock every day. I have a podcast that I do at 5 a.m. with another entrepreneur. All right, Daniel Lott. So you can hit that up. It's all of that stuff is in the bio. If you're interested, we're on. It's Mindset Shift with Daniel and Nestor. Just we're on Spotify. We're all over the place. But welcome everybody. Okay, one of the things that I love to do in my mornings, actually, it's my gratitudes. So I'm not sure if you guys understand how important it is to be grateful to waking up in the day because you have another opportunity to give the world your best side. When you give the world your best side, when you give the world your best self, and I'm not saying that you have to bend over backwards to please the fuck out of everybody. I didn't ever said that. I said you have to give the world your best self. In order to give the world your best self, you have to truly, fully believe that everything you do is at the best of your ability. And when you work on and do the best, when you notice and you do things out of love, you're always constantly doing things out of your best ability. When you're doing things, when you're forcefully doing things, when you do things that you really don't naturally align with, then most of the time you're not doing it out of love. You're doing it out of some other necessity. You learn to get programmed to live in necessity. So, once again, in order to be able to grow in life, you need to be able to see a bigger picture and believe in a bigger picture. Bye, Ashley. Thank you for being here. Uh, so, let's see. For those of you who don't know, I did write a book. It's The Pocket Guide to Becoming. It's 13 Principles of Power, Presence, and Purpose. Okay. And I'm going to come back here and I'm going to read One chapter a day, right? And there's 13 of these, what I call little chapters or little principles, okay? 20 years clean from New York, grateful. Beautiful. That is true. Excuse me, when you learn to truly give in into your higher power, you actually realize your true potential. When you work on your true potential and you do your true potential, those things naturally just come for your progression. It's literally the world just aligns. So not when you start not uh, becoming, but kind of when you start peeling off certain layers that don't agree with you, because there's your basic programmings, when you start realizing all this stuff, that's when you realize and say, hey, wait a moment. There's a bigger world out there that I completely control. I am the cause and I am the effect. So if everything that I do, I control, that means that everything that I want, I control. Everything that I am aligned is in control. But anyway, let's back to it. Let's go here. And let's start with a quick dedication. Once again, it's from my book. You can pick it up in my, just go to my bio. It's there. You know, this is just the Pocket Guide to Becoming 13 Principles of Power, Presence, and Purpose by me, Nestor Cadena. And this is a dedication to the 21-year-old version of me. You were still under factory settings. You didn't have this, but you needed it. And no one gave it to you, so you learned the hard way. Through the mistakes I've made since, I've written the shortcuts that I wish you had. To my son, I wrote this for you first, so that when life gets loud, you'll have something solid to return to. So you'll never forget of who you are, even when the world tries to make you. To every man who lacked, to the ones who did without, to those who fought to become something more, and to the man still looking for a way, and even the ones who have everything but still feel something's missing, this is for you. Let this be your mirror. Let this be your map. Let this help you find your light. It's like peeling an onion. That's right. That's right. Author's note. This began as a letter to my son. Not advice, not instruction, just a final gift. Something solid he could stand on when life got loud. I watched him step into his manhood, and in that moment, I realized something. I had one last thing to give him. Not just words, but a foundation, a compass, a code. What started as 13 reminders became something much bigger. It became fire, a mirror, a framework for every man who's ever felt like there's more inside, but didn't know where to begin. This book isn't for the man pretending to have it all figured out. It's for the one who's been carrying too much for too long. The one who's tired of repeating cycles that don't serve him. The one who's ready to build something different. I wrote this for my son. I wrote this for the man I used to be. I wrote this for you. Let's begin. Now, this is to you, the reader. Let's get this straight from the beginning. This is not a self-help book. This is a mirror, a challenge, and a weapon. Now, you won't find feel-good fluff in here. You'll find clarity, truth, and fire if you're willing to sit in it. This book won't make you feel better. It will remind you of who the hell you are. Inside these pages are 13 principles, each one forged through failure, refined in discipline, and tested in real life. They're not meant to be read and admired. They're meant to be practiced. Each principle is a call to action, a tool, a test, a standard. Start at principle one. Don't skip around. Don't skim. Sit with each one until something inside you shifts, until the noise quiets and the real you steps forward. And when you finish, you start over. because these 13 principles aren't a finish line. They're a foundation, a living code. Once you carry and sharpen for the rest of your life. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more men who live with a purpose. So, if you're ready, really ready, then let's begin. Principle number 1. Remember who you are. The first step is not becoming, it's remembering. So, you were never broken. You were buried under pressure, noise, fear, and performance. And you forgot. But forgetting is part of the design. The world teaches you to chase identity, to perform, to please, to become someone better. But your real power, it's in remembering of who you've always been. Most men try to improve before they awaken, but action without identity is empty. You don't need more vibration. You need to reclaim your truth. This is this isn't about adding, it's about subtracting, clearing the layers that aren't you. You've always been fire, you've just been covered in ash. Now it's time to clear it. Carl Jung said, man's task is to become conscious of the contents that press upward from his unconscious. While Thich Nhat Hanh said, what you are looking for is already in you. You are everything you are seeking. Here's a field note from the observer. There's a voice you hear when you ask yourself a question, but who said it? If you asked and you heard it, then who's watching the thought take shape? If you can see your past and imagine your future, but you're the one here unmoved, who's doing the seeing? That's the one you're here to remember. Daily practice for remembering. Morning mirror check. Look yourself in the eyes and say, I'm not my title. I'm not my past. I am my presence in motion. Now feel it. Don't just say it. I'm presence in motion. Say it again. I'm not my title. I'm not my past. I am presence in motion. Here's a midday alignment pause. Ask, is this action coming from truth or fear? And adjust accordingly. Because if you remember, we talked about this before in the past. Now, I'm bringing this up in this first chapter. All right? You don't need to act in fear. The more you act in fear, the less you act in truth. Always remember that. Is this act coming from truth or fear? And adjust accordingly. Evening reset. Did I live aligned with who I am or who I've been told to be? And then recenter and reset. Hey, Ashley, welcome back. All right. Now, here's a lie. You need to become something new. No, that's the belief is the trap. That belief is the trap. You don't need to become more. You need to shed the false layers. You don't need to be rebuilt. You need to be revealed. The man who knows himself can never be controlled. We don't become, we uncover. And that's a paraphrase from Marcus Aurelius, right? Jim Rohn reminds us, you cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. That change begins when you remember the direction that has always yours. Here's a final thought. Remembering isn't thinking. It's not analysis or an affirmation. It's the moment your mind gets quiet and your spirit says, there I am. It's a frequency, a click, a homecoming. That powerful man isn't the one who invents himself. It's the one who remembers the truth underneath the mask and walks like it's already done. Here's a real world reminder. When life got loud, I remembered that 21-year-old who only wanted his time back before the world convinced him to chase anything else. Transition to principle number 2. Define the standard. Once you remember who you are, the next step is to decide what that man stands for. You don't rise by feeling, you rise by building. And building requires a clear personal code. Principle number 2, define the standard. And we'll do that one tomorrow. So, thank you so much. I want to go ahead and just stop right there with that. I don't want to continue. I wanted to go ahead and thank everybody who participated. I love the energy. Um, and I'm just going to go ahead and I don't know, return the favor. Okay? Give me 1 second. Anybody who's here, thank you so much. If you're driving, do not follow along. If you're not driving and if you want to follow along, let me return the energy and return the favor. Okay? Have an intention in place. There we go. I feel the intention. I've opened mine and I've given mine. All I ask from you guys is to be able to think about something that you're bothered and let me help you get an answer. How am I going to do this? We're going to sit. I don't know how long how for. It could be 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. We're just going to do some breathing. And if you want to participate, please participate. Have your intention. Basically, throw me that energy, throw me that thought. Okay? And let's work it together. So, anything that might be troubling you, that you will need some guidance with, follow your intuitions that you need help with. We're taught not to follow our intuitions. We are programmed not to feel certain things, but we need to focus on our bodies and really and learn to truly trust what our bodies are saying because they tell us everything. They can predict the future. Our intuition knows everything. They know which way we need to go. So have our intentions in place. Let me begin. I can feel the energy. Put it in your heart. Put it in your mind. Feel it in your gut. You have an answer. Wow. My name is Nestor. Thank you for being here. God bless.